You don't really choose this car chooses you. It's the Cupra Terramar, the most practical model from Europe's fastest growing car brand. And on behalf of Cupra Singapore, I'm going to show you what it comes with, how it drives, and what exactly makes Cupra one of the most exciting open secrets in the car world today. And if you want a test drive or VIP service when you step into the Cupra showroom, I can totally make that happen for you too. Just drop me a WhatsApp at the number below. No pressure, just pleasure. Now first up, the Terramar is Cupra's family SUV. It has 5 seats and 5 doors, and even though Cupra is a sporty and stylish brand, the Terramar is designed to be sensible. It has a 5-year warranty with 5 years roadside assistance, and it comes with 3 years free servicing. At just over 4.5 meters long and under 1.87 meters wide, it's big enough to be roomy without ever feeling unwieldy to drive. Under the bonnet is a 1.5-litre turbo engine with mild hybrid technology. It packs 150 horsepower and drives the front wheels through a 7-speed twin-clutch automatic. At the opposite end is a boot that lets you pack 508 litres of cargo into the car, and that's before you fold the rear seats down. This is basically a practical and sensible family car, but who says sensible has to be boring? So Cupra cars are never dull to look at, and there's a couple of reasons for that. One, Cupra is from Barcelona, where there's a certain stylish party until dawn lifestyle. And two, the brand is actually only 7 years old, so it doesn't have any design baggage to weigh it down. The design boss Jorge Diaz tells his team not to look at other car companies, but to try out their own ideas. Now, several things make Cupras look very distinctive, and I'm going to decode them for you. First up, every Cupra actually has a shark nose, so designers call this a negative volume, but basically it gives the car a very thrusting and aggressive shape. Now the second thing is this copper tone over here. It's repeated throughout the car, but it's very clear to see on this logo right here. And think about it for a second. Other brands use steel or chrome, but that can be a little bit cold. So Cupra uses copper because it's warmer and a little bit more emotional. It's all about making a human connection, and it's very, very Spanish. Another thing you're going to notice is the use of desaturated or muted colors. When you see a Cupra, it's supposed to stand out, but it's not going to stand out in a very garish way. You're not going to see a bright pink or bright yellow one. Instead, you've got these lovely toned down colors that are chosen to work well with the Cupra logo, but also to make the cars very distinctive without being garish. And over on the back of the car, you're only ever going to see Cupra spelled here, no model names. Why is that? Well, Cupra is well aware that it's actually only 7 years old, so they do want to elevate the brand. But there is a way to tell which Cupra you're looking at if you know where to look. And where you look is on the side of the car, at the taillight. And finally, you're going to see lots and lots of triangles. Why triangles? Well, if you think about the basic shapes in nature, you've got the square, which is kind of boxy, and then you've got circles, which are kind of cute sometimes. But Cupra uses triangles because, well, triangles are kind of pointy and a bit aggressive, but also very stable. So you're going to see triangles all over the car. And if you look closely enough, you're going to notice that even the logo is made up of triangles. Now, how cool is that? Things are just as distinctive inside. You have a 10.25-inch driver display and a 12.9-inch central touchscreen with elegant graphics and beautiful icons. It's also snappy and responsive. When you're inside a Cupra, keep an eye out for 3D textures as well as soft surfaces wherever your hands might rest, because tactile feel is a real priority here. There's selectable ambient lighting to really help set the mood in the cabin, and all around you there are copper accents, copper trimming, and copper stitching, and it all boils down to reinforcing Cupra's identity. And notice how this screen is kind of angled towards me as well. It's all about driver centricity in this car. And it's the same with this spine over here. It's a very bold architectural element that gives your eye something to dwell on, but also creates a very special zone over here. And I want to show you something a little bit secret. If you look at the home screen on this car, there's this diagonal line over here. And if you've ever seen the map of Barcelona, well, it's a grid city, but there is a very famous road that cuts across like that. It's called the Avinguda Diagonal, and this line over here is a homage to that. So let's talk about practical features. You of course have a lot of storage, a wireless charging pad over here which works well with the Apple CarPlay, and you do have quite deep storage over here as well. Something super important, 3-zone climate control. So there's never going to be any arguments between man, woman and children about how cool the car should be. Oh, and you have to look at this. This is a microfiber engineered suede material called Dinamica. It is engineered to be very, very durable, but it's also made from recycled polyester. So it looks nice, it feels nice, but it's also very sustainable. Now, so far we talked about how the Terramar is kind of interesting in front, but it's also very nice back here as well. I have the same sort of ambiance, the same textures to look at, and the same colors. And we talked about triangles, and I'm kind of surrounded by triangles as well. But it is a very practical-minded car. I mean, I do have USB charging, and I can actually adjust the seats if I need to create a bit more space for luggage. And I can, of course, recline my seat a little bit to make a longer journey more comfortable. Fundamentally, I think this car does offer a lot of room though, so if I had to spend hours and hours back here, I don't think I would really complain. And that really is the essence of a family car. But this one shows you that you don't have to buy one of those coupe SUVs with less headroom than you would like. I think the Terramar shows that you can have space and you can have style. Okay, test drive time, and you're gonna feel that with 150 horsepower, this car is, well, I'll be honest with you, it's brisk rather than fast. But you know what? You do get the trademark Cupra boost button that gives you access to maximum acceleration for a while, and that gives you a nice little kick. Driving this car is about exciting the senses, and there are different ways to delight the driver. You can do it with forms, shapes, and textures, and that's what makes this Cupra different from the average family SUV. Beyond all that, this car does have a mild hybrid system, and yes, you can kind of feel it giving a nice little boost to the acceleration, but really the main job of the system is to recapture energy whenever you're slowing down or braking. And then it stores it in a battery, and then it uses that energy to drive a motor to kind of assist the engine in order to save fuel, of course. And this car also has cylinder deactivation technology. So when you're driving under light loads, it can automatically switch off 2 of the 4 cylinders. It's like when you're at home and you step out of a room and then you just turn off the lights to save energy. Well, it's the same thing here. And the net result of all that is, well, the fuel consumption is just 6.1 liters per 100 kilometers. And with that kind of efficiency, I think the typical Singapore driver doing typical mileage is only ever going to refuel this car once every 2 weeks. Probably once every more than 2 weeks. In a family car like this, Nürburgring lap times are just not important. I mean, Cupra does have a car for that, and it's called the Formentor. But this is a Terramar, and what you'll find is a car that's easy to see out of, with great visibility all around. The steering is light and direct, so you always feel like driving this car is nice and easy. The ride quality is pretty firm, and you might feel like it's on the hard side in the city. But if you do take this car to Malaysia where speeds are higher, that firmness is gonna help with high-speed stability. Okay, something I want to show you guys isn't really a super fancy feature, but it's always nice to have, and that is the magic of park assist. So I'm gonna, I've already found a parking spot over here, and it's one of those like dastardly parallel parking spots. So all I have to do is switch on the system, the car looks out for a spot, and then when it sees it, I'll just hit start. So you can see that it already has indicated for me I don't have to touch the steering, and I don't actually have to touch the pedals as well. And this sort of parking assistant, well, it works with perpendicular as well as parallel parking spots, which is the ones I have trouble with. And you know, it would be a shame to scratch this car's lovely wheels, right? So rather leave it to the car. And this one looks like a fairly tight spot, so I'm getting stressed just sitting here, but no, the car seems to be doing okay. And parking assistance systems like this, they always have a sort of 2-part component to it. The first one is how well the car can find parking spots, and this one seems to be able to do it pretty well. And then the second part is, of course, the execution. And as you can see, the Cupra is doing it all by itself. I don't have to touch the pedals, I don't have to touch the steering, I don't have to change gears, and it's going back and forth for me automatically. Some people think that automatic parking like this is kind of like something only Chinese EVs can do, but as you can see, it's being done completely automatically for me. And all I have to do is wait for the car to be done. It is actually pretty close to the curb right now. And it wants to adjust itself a little bit. And I guess there's no substitute for perfection. And perfection is what we've achieved. So, you know, Terrarmar, like Terra means land and Mar means sea, right? And I guess that implies that this car rules the land and sea, but I gotta say, it rules car parks too. As for Cupra, well, that comes from Cup racing, like Porsche has a Carrera Cup racing series, right? But you know what? A proper racing car would be horrible to drive on the road. So I think the emphasis here is on emotion. And that is why the Terramar looks the way it does, and that's why the interior is the way it is. The whole attitude of Cupra is that it's all about Spanish flair and emotion. And don't forget, of all the 10 brands that Volkswagen Group owns, this is the only one that it actually created from scratch. So even though this is a young brand, it is very well defined. In fact, there is a bit of a slogan at the company: Cupra is not for everyone to like, but for some people to love. Thanks for watching this presentation by Cupra Singapore, who sponsored this video to let us show you the car but had no input on our script or our opinions. Remember to subscribe for more informative videos like this one, and thanks for watching. We'll see you again. But you know, 0 to 100 takes... Let's not crash. I'm a bit far away.